Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Spotlight, and tonight it's a little more literal than usual. Now, Idle Manager is exactly what it says it is. It's a management sim released in 2021 from developer Glitch Pitch. It appears to be their only title, but the publisher PlaySim has a few more titles under its belt, including Signalis, a rather much talked about survival horror title, and Toho Luna Nights, which we've covered on this channel before. But Idle Manager is about the nitty-gritty of show business in Japan, putting together an agency, scouting talent, training your staff, putting together singles, auditions, payroll, the whole nine. There's some visual novel sequences for the plot, there's actually a story to the campaign, and it sets more of a mature tone than I was expecting, certainly than I was expecting just from the title card here. And not by a lot, we're not talking grittiness for its own sake, but it's a more of a sober presentation of the industry than I was expecting. It shows that it's kind of ruthless and risky with a lot of potential hurdles. Yeah, false advertisement then. Oh, just you wait, my friend. But yeah, you're running a business, but you also have to manage the physical and emotional well-being of your staff, and various events, scandals, and other things can throw a wrench in your plans. There's quite a bit to cover, so we'll basically be going through the tutorial motions and getting our first single released, but let's get started, and I'll show you what I mean. So, let's see. Yeah, we'll start the new game here. So, we got our standard protagonist, male or female. Let's say we'll have Yuri from Fatal Frame. She decided to get out of the eating ghost business and get into more metaphorically cutthroat line of work. So that was Kozukata. Yuri, there we go. And why not? Let's throw in an Airheads reference. Yeah, the Lone Rangers. There we go. Alright, interesting detail here, you pick the gender of your rival as well, and the game doesn't tell you this right away, you don't know this at the time, but we're about to meet our rival. You'll see what I mean by the tone of this game once we get into conversation here. So, difficulty normal. Off we go. So, yeah, there's kind of voice clips for the characters, but they're not line reading all the dialogue, so are you here to meet with Fujimoto? Sorry to break it to you, but he's not here right now. So yeah, this character's gender changes depending on what we set for our rival, giving away that they are, in fact, our rival. They've got some history with our soon-to-be employer, and it's setting a very specific time and setting. This is Japan in 2021, which rather famously had to bump the Olympics back a year because of COVID. Anyway, if you had an appointment scheduled for now, well, you might be waiting for a while. Fujimoto has a habit of keeping people waiting. So, where is he? Do I look like I know? I don't even work here. I mean, it's not like anyone works here, right? Not at the moment, at least. If you wanted to meet anyone who works for Fujimoto, well, you showed up a week too late. What happened a week ago? Oh, you didn't know? Well, this building might look like a ghost town now, but it used to be home to some very lucrative businesses. They were the kind of businesses that turn a very large profit, but they did most of their business in cash, if you catch my drift. Fujimoto runs the kind of business that favor profits over morals, kicking it old school with the world's oldest profession. So, yeah, this is kind of what I'm talking about. The town's trying to clean up its image. The manager has a bit of a dodgy reputation. This stuff doesn't really come up in the early game, but they're making it very clear there's a dark side to the business, and the guy you're working for might be a bit suspect. But then again, since this is your rival, maybe they're just messing with you. Something to kind of keep in mind through this. So yeah, law enforcement was willing to turn a blind eye. Ever since our city was chosen to host the upcoming legally distinct summer games, the higher-ups have started cracking down on that kind of thing. Fujimoto decided to clean up his act before the police got involved, which would explain why this building was now empty, and some of the neighborhood's finest massage therapists are now finding themselves out of a job. But their loss is your gain, right? That's what you're meeting Fujimoto about? Well, as best as I can gather, his goal is to clean up his act, but let me give you a piece of advice. People don't change their ways so easily, you dig? If you want to run things squeaky clean, you'll be running against the grain. Who are you? Me? I'm just a concerned citizen giving out free advice. Is that enough gossip? Just trying to impress upon you that Fujimoto is probably desperate to fill this space with some kind of business. Whoever fills it could probably get away with running it at a loss for the foreseeable future. One of the benefits of not caring where your money comes from is means you can accumulate a lot of it, and Fujimoto spent a lot of time not caring where his money came from. Anyway, I've already said too much. Enjoy your meeting with Fujimoto, alright? So yeah, right out the starting gate, we're kind of setting a very interesting tone for this game. It is, for the most part, kind of a cutesy management sim, but it is not really a sanitized look at the industry compared to other stuff that kind of covers the same general environment. Anyway, you're Kozukata Yuri, right? Sorry to have kept you waiting. Good to finally meet you in person. Here's our manager slash possible used car dealership guy slash possible mafia contact, God only knows. Anyway, I must admit, I'm a bit surprised to see you're so young, but entertainment does seem to be a young person's game, especially when it comes to managing talent. Anyway, your age is less important to me than your experience, which was enough to impress me. I'm not that impressive. How modest you are. Hey, Kirby! Thanks for the sub, good to see you. And somehow, with the qualifications you have, that modesty doesn't ring false. I wouldn't expect someone with your experience to brag. Most people wouldn't brag about working at a convenience store. To become a part-time manager at such a young age is certainly unusual, especially given that I happen to know that convenience store. It's in a pretty rough and tumble part of town. You're someone who knows how to get things done, aren't you? Managing an idle agency isn't exactly the same thing as running a convenience store, but you have to deal with a lot of the same problems. Young employees who are trying to balance school and work, running on a tight budget, keeping customers happy. So basically this guy just picked this out of a Lawson's to go run an idle agency. Because, yeah, they're basically having to restructure the business, and they're just shoving whoever they can into here. And it's debatable how much we can trust the guy, but he's at least bankrolling our operation. So yeah. I have the paperwork here if you're ready to sign. Your terms are, well, let's just say that they're the best terms I was able to get on such short notice. Anyway, I don't want you to think of me as your boss. You're the boss. I'm just a sponsor. Investor, if you will. This is your enterprise, and I'm just buying a piece of the action. When it comes to starting capital, I'm afraid I can't offer much in the way of cash. My investments haven't left me very liquid, and I'm taking a loss on a significant portion of my portfolio, you see. Part of the reason this building happens to be vacant, but I can offer you use of the bottom floor rent-free. Pretty lucky for my loss to turn into your gain, isn't it? This kind of generosity isn't typical for me, so don't get used to it. What do you get out of this? I already said it, didn't I? Just want a piece of the action. You do all the hard work, and if you turn out to be a success, I get some of the prestige by association. If it fails, well, it won't be the first business venture I've seen fail. Plus, the truth is, I need someone to fill this property. If you let a space go unused for too long and start to look run down, that could affect the value of the surrounding property. Blah, blah, etc. I gotcha. Real estate. Serious business. So for the time being, I assume you'll be focused on getting some starting talent, training them up, doing basic promotion, and most importantly, getting yourself a fan base. I don't know everything about the entertainment industry. The one thing I do know is that you're nothing without your fans. An idol group lives or dies based on the size of the following it gets. Of course, I'm not saying you shouldn't pay attention to your bank account, but if you're not increasing the size of your following, you're probably doing something wrong. Plus, there's me to think about. One of the reasons I wanted to sponsor an idol group is that one day I can turn on a TV or pick up a newspaper and see people talking about something I helped create. So go out there and make me proud. Thankfully, no, not this time. Although apparently there was some issue with some property in New York that was like trying to build on a vacant piece of property that was just like a narrow spot between two other properties, but they couldn't find the owner or something. I was like, this is literally how Yakuza 0 happened. Anyway, might as well tell this guy that there was someone talking shit about him. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Probably some local gossip monger. Now, there's going to be quite a bit more with that person, as I'm sure you can understand. You might hear rumors about me. Some are true, most aren't. I used to own several businesses in this neighborhood, but I live on the other side of town and I'm not always the most involved person. That seems to have lent a certain mystique to the people who know who I am, but aren't used to seeing my face around here. I hope you don't expect to be working too closely with me. Like I said, you're the boss, I'm just offering you the resources. I'll drop by every now and then, but I try to stay out of people's hair. Plus, I've got other ventures competing for my attention. But if you're putting on a big show, let me know and I'll try to stop by. Hey, getting VIP tickets to every event is supposed to be one of the perks of this whole thing, right? Alright, running an idol group can be complicated. It's challenging, even for those who have experience. A comprehensive guide would be useful, yeah? So, yeah, this is kind of the tutorial thing. I think it's possible to skip it if you pick this top option, but either of these two will walk you pretty carefully through the basics. So, yeah, I thought so. So I'd like to give you this binder. It was put together by one of my former associates and lays out SOP for a lot of things you'll need to do when running an idol group. Documents like the ones you'll find in this binder are the lifeblood of any organization. They're a way to formalize the concepts. I get it. I understand what standard operating procedures are. Okay, so I'm not the first person who's had to do this. I've sponsored lots of businesses before, Miss Kozukata. I'll leave the binder in your capable hands. It consists of a series of lessons on various topics. Anyway, I think it's time I get out of your hair and let you actually start doing your job. Any questions before I turn you loose? Any last minute advice? I think the best lessons are the ones you learn by trying and failing. How's that for advice? Yeah, thanks a lot, pal. Don't get discouraged if things don't work out. A lot of starting businesses fail. To be honest, for an inexperienced person like you running a business, it wouldn't be that surprising of an outcome. It might sound pessimistic, but hopefully it takes some of the pressure off. Every venture like this is ultimately a gamble. If you go bankrupt, I won't personally hold it against you. After all, money isn't everything, but it does tend to make life a lot easier, so try to make sure your spending is judicious. Alright, so click on an unused part of the building to build a room there. So yeah, this is the game. It's essentially... It's kind of like building up your base in XCOM or other things like that. You're entirely focused on the office here, so let's get started with an office. Our office. So yeah, we got some free space to start with. And there's us. Alright, each staffer is represented by a card. You're the first and so far only staffer. Click on a staffer to change your nickname, blah blah blah. Got it. Not currently assigned to any room, so your staff can be deployed to various parts of your office. Right now, the office is for us. So you see the current date. The green progress bar under the date indicates how close tomorrow is. So yeah, right around here, you can see time progresses when we hit this. So yeah, if you need time to think or plan your next move, you can pause time by using this button. The play button will resume time, and the fast forward button will cause time to move at an accelerated pace. Time will only pass when you're on the screen. Anytime you're experiencing a story event, time will pause automatically. Alright, can't have an idle group without idols. That seems logical. It's time to hold some additions. Okay, so we're just going through my notes here. So the early game is all about building up your initial talent pool, getting your office set up, and taking the first steps towards bringing in your money. The game's pretty good about walking you through these tutorial steps, and what you'll want to keep in mind is that once the game teaches you something, it's a good idea to keep doing it while it's teaching you other things. You'll see what I mean. But we'll start with talent auditions, and that's basically... It's almost kind of like a gacha pull system, with like a tier structure to it. Yeah, local, regional, and nationwide, where higher tiers have better odds for top-notch talent, but take longer and cost more. So let's go ahead and start an audition. So yeah, we'll start with a local one for now. So you can see the odds right here. So yeah, silver, gold, platinum, and yeah, that's kind of how the idols are ranked in terms of their starting statistics and such. I think you get a guaranteed gold in your starting pool, but let's take a look. Okay, talent scout begins. Take a few days for the audition to finish. So let's unpause. Alright, so you can kind of see the progress bar over here. You can hit the fast forward button if you need something to tick over. Now I know you know why I like this. There's a certain satisfying loop once you get going and actually start making money and turning things over. It is very numbers focused. It's kind of like Football Manager in that regard, where it's not really about the sport per se so much as managing a specific team here. Anyway, let's get this audition going. Each audition finds 5 idols. Who they are is a mystery. Let's click on one to get started. So here we go. Alright. 4 stats that are based on their appearance, 4 stats based on their talents. So yeah, cute, cool, sexy, pretty, vocal, dance, funny, smart. So we got an idol here that's actually not bad. It looks like she's a standard as far as her ranking goes, but her stats are pretty good. The only place she's kind of lacking is vocal and dance, but she's got a very good presence in front of a camera, and she'll be pretty good. Looks like with a little training, she could be pretty good for performances, but she'll be good on like promo events, interviews, and such. So, okay, first number is the current value of the stat. The second number in brackets is their potential as the stat. You can think of potential as a soft cap. So this is what they start at. This is kind of what they can be trained up to. Past a certain point, it becomes kind of difficult to train them up higher, and that's where you want the higher rarity idols in order to get better large cap numbers. Yeah, you could robot that shit exactly. And, yeah, exactly. Get some auto tune in there. So yeah, each idol has a unique trait. Some are beneficial, some can be a hindrance. So this girl has, Hinako here, has complacent, decrease the performance stats after centering a single. That will make more sense when we actually get to making the single, but yeah, basically her performance stats don't go up after she's been the front woman for a single. Anyway, let's see. Hold up, before we hire her, let's take a look at the other candidates. So, let's flip some other cards around. Alright. So, Maria here has got some interesting spread as well. So, she's got some pretty interesting stats for dance, smart, and cool, where she starts off low but has a pretty high potential cap. So, what about the others? Also has complacent. Alright, Suga Yume. Interesting. High vocal. Alright. Satome Mako. Thought so, yeah. Yeah, on my first, when I played this through for practice, I did get a gold on the first playthrough. So I think like a lot of gacha games, you're kind of guaranteed one high-value card, basically. So, yeah. Probably has high starting stats. We'll give her head start over other idols. So, Lone Wolf, stat bonus when hosting a show alone. Interesting. Numbers above each idol's portrait down here represents their overall rating. It's essentially an average of all their stats, can help in comparing different idols. So yeah, kind of a overall aggregate of their stats and their overall value. So now we've had a chance to look them all. Let's decide who to hire. You can hire as many or as few as you like. Since you're just starting out and have no idols, let's hire at least 3 idols to start out with. So here's the thing. It might be tempting to grab as many as you can, but you do need to pay your workers. We haven't really gotten to the point where people work for free, so every idol you hire is one more person you have to meet payroll. So you need to be careful about not bringing on more people than you can afford. So we'll hire Haruka here. Hopefully she'll go better than the last time we encountered a Haruka, that Yuri encountered a Haruka. Let's see. Yeah, we'll grab Hinako as well. What was your deal again? Yume, perfectionist. Thick skin, immune to bullying and online harassment. You know what? That's actually not a bad attitude. I think we'll want someone who can kind of endure these slings and arrows of social media. There's a decision to make about that further on once we've got a single under our belt. But anyway, I like her attitude. We will go with this 3. Hey, Robo, good to see ya. Doing good tonight. How's it going? Okay, so yeah, between you and me, I think we'll be fine on my own. So yeah, obviously these characters are kind of randomly generated from an assortment of traits, art, and stats. So this game isn't really character-driven so much as numbers-driven. Now this group has idols, time to give them something to do. Let's go over to the Activities tab. Hey, Branch, good to see you. Okay, every day your group can perform an activity. Performance will spend idle stamina, will earn some money. Promotion will spend stamina to gain some fans. Spa treatment will spend money to allow 3 idols to recover some of their physical stamina. At the bottom of the screen you can see how many fans, money, and scandal points your group has. Right now we have none. You just have following. Let's fix that by doing a promotion to gain new fans. Done. Post something on Twitter regarding a delay in my dental surgery. Oh, man. Oof. Yeah, that's right. You got dental work. Man, hopefully all goes well or has gone well. It's never a fun time. Anyway, let's do a promotion. Start getting some fans. You can hover over your fans at the bottom at any time to see current demographics of your group's fan base. So, looks like we've only got 7, so it's going to skew the numbers anyway. Mostly just younger adults. So, continue. Now that it's a new day, let's plan a different activity for our group. It's time for a performance. So yeah, here's the thing. While the time is ticking over, you can only do one of these activities per day, but every new day, it's a good idea to do at least one of these. This is what I was talking about, where as the game's teaching you new things, you want to remember the previous things it's taught you because it's in your interest to hit these things regularly. So let's do a performance. That gets us some money. Not a lot. It's basically we've got some seed money here, but it'll be a while before we start actually making some money, start actually turning a profit. Okay, so you can do one activity a day, so choose wisely. Since you're first starting out, might be a good idea to do some more promotions to increase your fan following. Done. The benefit you get from doing a daily activity is based on the level. So yeah, as we level up, and that's done by hitting certain milestones. So we level up our promotion ability by releasing a single. That'll let us get more fans every time we do it, appearing in magazines and so on. So it's not really a linear experience bar so much as hitting certain benchmarks that allow you to progress with the mechanics and thus with the story. Now, unlocking higher daily activities is one of the best ways to make progress. Yes, I got you there. Whenever your idols work, they spend stamina. You can check their stamina in the main menu. And here's where one of the other management aspects come in. So your idols all have a limit to how much and for how long they can work. They spend physical stamina when working, but if you force them to work when they're completely exhausted, it'll drain mental stamina instead. So yeah, as this number goes down, their performance degrades, and it takes time for them to recover. With low stamina, if they have low stamina, they're at greater risk of becoming injured, and idols with low mental stamina can become depressed. So you gotta balance out how much you need to work them to do their job with how much time they need to recover between jobs. So both mental and physical stamina will recover over time, mental stamina will recover much more slowly. So these are the various stats. Let's see, click the arrow next to the stats to view their relationships. Okay, stats indicate your relationship with each idol. Friendship, influence, and romance level. Friendship's a measure of how much an idol likes you. Increase it by socializing with them and generally being pleasant. Influence is a measure of how indebted an idol feels to you. Increase it by doing favors for her. So yeah, each one's going to have like special requests that as you get to know them, you can integrate into the course of your business strategy. And if you do that, you can gain your influence. That means you'll be able to... they'll be more inclined to listen to you when it's time to make decisions. Now here's an interesting thing. Romance is a measure of, well, you know. You might be able to increase it by flirting, but not everyone will respond well to these advances. So the game fully lets you develop that kind of relationship with your idols, or at least the ones that are amenable to it, but not all of them are amenable. Some just aren't interested, some aren't interested in you or your gender specifically, some are actually asexual, so it is... the game is not particularly judging about that, but it's one of the things that can potentially cause problems down the line, and almost anything you do can potentially cause a scandal, but some things are more prone to it than others. More to it as we go. Pump and dump them, burn them out, pass them off to the movie industry, recruit more, make money. You know, that's the thing you can do in this game. That's kind of what I'm talking about, is that past the somewhat sterile presentation of the game, they're getting into the meat and potatoes idol business in a way that you don't actually see from a lot of sim games. It's certainly not stuff about the idol industry. But anyway, through the tutorials, when you can, so it's more idol management stuff. Click on the profile to bring up the idol's profile screen. More detailed information about our stats. Oh, I gotcha. Tell you about the demographic of our fan base. So if you want, you can get into the nitty-gritty of what's fan base each idol appeals to. You can sort of tailor the material you create accordingly. Some particular styles of performance or venues for a performance will be more likely to draw certain fans, who in turn might spend more or less. And yeah, basically there's a lot of numbers going on under the surface that we're only just kind of getting a taste of in this tutorial. But yeah, this game gets pretty in-depth as far as balancing your budget goes and tailoring your performance for a particular audience. Alright, so anyway, let's do some socializing. We'll start with Haruka here. Takes time to prepare a social event, so let time progress. Forward. So, yeah, fast forward. And actually, while it's doing that, we'll still want to be hitting this every time it ticks over. You can later on set it up to automatically do this, but it has kind of a sort of incremental quality where you constantly want to be watching for certain activities you can do every day, because it's very vital you build up your fan base, and once you get your levels up, you can quickly turn enough cash from a performance in order to fund basic operations. Anyway, let's get to our meeting. Casual conversation is a good way to get to know your idols and a key to building your friendship. Try flirting at your own risk. Not everyone is receptive to a romantic overture. You can ask an idol about her wishes to help find out what her goals are. Helping fulfill her goals will increase your influence with her. Share gossip about other group members or ask her to mentor a younger member of the group. Note that most group members won't share gossip if they're not on friendly terms with you. So again, this isn't really a character-driven game. A lot of this stuff is kind of randomly assembled, but this is another layer of the management aspect. We're learning about these specific things that make your idols tick is part of keeping the group going well. Now here's the thing. Every idol graduates and leaves the group eventually. You can ask her when she's planning to graduate or accelerate her graduation. So eventually, even your best idols will leave the business, so you do in fact need to regularly cycle through people after a certain amount of time. So, best to begin working a relationship by getting to know the other person. Let's engage in some casual conversation. Alright, so what do you want to chat about? Alright. Suga Haruka shares her opinions about some recent gossip and shares an embarrassing story from her past. You also find out Suga Haruka has a poster of Leif Erikson in her bedroom. Some of the random stuff they come up with is genuinely amusing. Like on my first playthrough, I only got through the first chapter, one idol confessed that her mom spent like 1,000,000 yen on gacha capsules. There's some interesting little quirky tidbits in these facts. Anyway, you can't run everything yourself. We need to be coached. We need staffers. So let's go hire some people. Alright. Alright, click the green hire button. Alright, can hire a variety of different staffers. The screen will also show you what type of room the staffer works in. Dance coaches and choreographers work in the dance room. They usually have 1-2 type of specializations for their staffer type. Gotcha. Yeah, they get around. It's a big business. Anyway, you can choose from novice, professional, and expert level staffers. More experienced staffers start with higher stats, but naturally cost more money to employ. Starting group with a limited budget, let's keep costs low. So we'll want to hire a novice. So yeah, we're on novice. Let us hire... We will want a manager. Now, let's see. We got a sales manager here, and her twin sister production manager over here. And let's get the sales. I think it's honestly just the same character, and it's just which department do you want to focus on first. So let's hire this manager here. Go back to the main agency view and build an office for her. Got it. Alright. So, secondary office for marketing. And let's drag you over here and get you working. Now, if staffers aren't assigned to a particular task, they'll automatically generate research points. Now that you've hired a staff, they'll generate research points whenever they're not working on an assigned task. So this is how you level them up to unlock additional things they can do. Like here you can see hover over each type. You can also buy research points by clicking the green buy icon. That's this thing here. This goes up every time you do it, so it's fine for the early game, but those costs add up fast. So let's spend some of your manager research points. So this is how you unlock them to do different things. So in this case, the manager can focus on digital-only releases, ad campaigns, viral campaigns, gin up a fake scandal, different PVs, photo shoots. So the more you unlock, the more your options are for your studio, and these can also be upgraded with additional points to improve the returns on them. Now, for the moment, she doesn't have any points, so we need to go buy them. So we can generate them passively. So if we wanted to, we could just let time pass. And I don't think there's any specific penalties for doing so. So we will speed it up this time. So here we go, research, sorry. So yeah, we'll get some research points for her. Let's unlock the photo shoot business contract. Click and hold. Done. So once they've been unlocked, you can spend more research points. Got it. Certain items have separate requirements to unlock. For example, variety show requires that your group have a certain number of fans. Fair enough. Alright. Different staffer types can be used to research different items. Use music research points. So yeah, each of these is going to play a role in the options your studio has. And when you put together a single, you're going to need pieces of every... You're going to need research from every person here. Hey, Orange, good to see you. Alright, you have a manager working for you. Let's have her make up some business proposals. So yeah, your manager here is going to be constantly looking for, when she's not just passively generating research, she's going to be on the hunt for a business proposal. So let's do this. It'll take her some time to finish. Remember, you can always fast forward to make time progress faster. So yeah, basically while she's doing that, we'll be doing other stuff with the business. So we can actually... Let's drag Hinako over here for some socialization. And we'll wait for this to roll over as well. But good to see you, Orange. How's it going tonight? Alright, we'll speed that up. Done. Hanging in there? Yep. Alright. Time for that. Alright. Get some more casual conversation in. The tutorial menu is kind of awkward here. I do appreciate that they're specifically going through every step, but it needs a kind of a dedicated place in the UI, otherwise you kind of have to keep dragging it around. But anyway, did you want to talk about anything particular? Takao Hinako gives a brief summary of a TV show she saw last night, spent a few minutes talking about her hobbies. We find out she owns a high-powered telescope. Nice. Kind of fits with the constellation theme of her dress. Alright, on to the next day. And actually, on to the next idol. Hanging in there? Yeah, I hear ya. Hang on a second. Is that... Did it not go? There we go. Yes. Sometimes the grab and drop can be a little loose, and you can take you a minute to make sure you've actually committed to an action. The tell is always to watch for progress bars. If that's going up, they've actually begun the thing you want them to do. Alright. She's finished creating a business deal. Click the yen icon and see. Alright. So, each client will be looking for an idol who is good in a particular stat. You get to choose which idol participates. You have 3 options. How good the rewards are will depend on how good the idol is and the desired stat that the client is looking for. Your staffer can try to negotiate a better rate. The number of times you can negotiate is based on the staffer's deal stat. So you see here, they want to do a photo shoot with, and they highlight the skill they're looking for. And this is how much you gain from it. This is how many fans. This is the cost of the idol's stamina. So let's see. Renegotiating the deal can result in a better or worse result. The results are random, with the odds of success determined by the staffer's deal stat. So we can attempt to renegotiate twice. It may go up, it may go down. Depends on the staffer's skill there. So it's kinda, you need to make sure that you're willing to toss the deal you have for one you could potentially improve. Idle wheel, idle deal. Yeah. Yeah, you bust a deal, you face the wheel here. Anyway, once you have an outcome you like, click the accept button. That's a pretty good starting payment, actually. So, let's see. So yeah, you see here that it's entirely based on their performance along these lines. So she's, let's see, do we have anybody else? No. Alright. So that's the stat they're looking for, that's the stat they're going to get. Here you go. Alright. You can also have a staffer automatically generate business proposals, and here's where you can start to have stuff kind of tick over on its own. So click on the staffer, select auto proposals. Yep, out of the way you. When this box is ticked, staffer will automatically generate business proposals whenever she isn't working on anything else. Note this means she won't generate research points, so you do want to give them time to actually upgrade their own gain their own experience. You can put that towards other business avenues, but again, in the early game, we need to focus on making some money, and this will give us some fans as well, which is important, which is always important for anything we do. So yeah, office introducing preferred proposal type. So yeah, all we can do right now is photo shoot, so that's what she's going to focus on. Alright, using a lot of menu tabs like idle, staff, and activities. This is just teaching us about keyboard shortcuts. The whole of the interface is actually reasonably well done. There's not a lot here that isn't intuitive. Like, there's a lot to manage as far as running the business goes, but the simple controls of the game are all reasonably intuitive and not too complicated to figure out. So, yeah. Default agency view. To close the current tab, hit escape or click X. Done. In the default agency view, you get an overview of how many research points you currently have. So, interesting, not a lot. Actually, we can do... Oh, no, not yet. Aw, thanks so much. I appreciate that. Ah. Very generous of you, friend. Welcome to the show. Now then, default agency. You can get an overview of how many research points. You can use the buttons here as shortcuts for daily activities like promotion, performance, and spa treatment. Can also be triggered with keyboard shortcuts. So yeah, they want you to be hitting this regularly, so you're constantly bumping up your fan numbers, bringing in more money, and managing their stamina. So, view pending tasks for the default agency view. Take a look at your pending tasks. Right. So over here, the most important resource. Cute office ladies. Exactly, yeah. Well, this is actually us, the player character. So... as there's a story event waiting for you. Progressing through the game's story will require you to complete objectives, which are detailed here. Meeting the requirements for a story task doesn't automatically trigger a story event. You can come back to the screen and click on the story task when you're ready to advance. Be warned, the world marches to the beat of its own drum. Some story events will happen automatically. So, rather nicely, the game doesn't force you into progressing the story most of the time until you actually choose to do so yourself. You can hit the benchmark and freely take care of whatever business you need to first, although some things will kind of force your hand. Anyway, story tasks, some characters will give you optional tasks to complete, which will appear on this screen. You socialize with an idol and ask her about her wishes. It will show up as a task here. You might also get a task if you take out a loan from a certain someone. Like with story events, you'll need to come back to this screen and click on the task after meeting the requirements in order to complete the task. If you get stuck, got it. Time to hire a dance staffer. Outstanding. Click over to the staff tab. Alright. Again, novice professional experts. So we hire either our... Okay, so we're just hiring the dance coach here. Akeda Wakana. Done. Now she needs a place to work, so we got to build her a dance studio. Or a dance room. Here we go. And we assign her over here. And like with the manager here, if they aren't assigned to a particular task, they generate research points. These unlock additional things you can teach your idols to do and other things you can train them for. And when they're not doing that, there'll be training. So, yeah. Time to hire a music staffer. Again, back to the hiring. Voice coach or a music producer. And we'll get a music producer. Here we go. Needs a place to work. Build an office. We need a recording studio. Now this will need to expand onto another floor, and you might remember in the intro that we only had the first floor for free. So yeah, this is going to cost us. So this adds to our rental budget, in addition to an upfront cost. Grab the staffer's card from the staff tab, drag him into the studio. There you go, sir. Start making music. If staffers aren't assigned to a particular task, blah blah, they gain more research as well. So, apart from managing your idols, you're also managing your staff and making sure that they're either gaining research so they can unlock new business opportunities, or doing things with your idols to either train up their stats or get them to produce more stuff. Now, dance coaches and vocal coaches can help idols improve their dance and vocal stats. Let's have your dance staffer coach an idol. Alright. Idol tab. Alright. Now here's something the game doesn't teach you right out the gate, and that if the skill of your dancing coach, if the skill of your idol exceeds that of your coach, they won't actually learn anything. So I think you can improve that, but it is a lot harder to do. So yeah, we can upgrade Hinako and Mako a lot easier than we can Haruka. So let's bring Hinako over here. A staffer can only coach an idol if the staffer's coaching stat is higher than the idol's stat. This consumes idol stamina. Be careful not to overwork them. You can also click on a staffer's room and select auto practice to have them automatically coach. So yeah, we'll set her to do that and auto practice for the time being. Produce a single. You need to have hired a dance staffer, music staffer, and manager staffer. So we got that. You also need to go to research tab and unlock at least one lyric type, marketing strategy, choreography, and genre of music. So this will be... Haruka looks like a ringer. A lot of those stats are way too high for a newbie. Sounds like a scam. Well, that's what happens when you hit a gold on your first pull. But yeah, that is kind of mandated by the campaign that you'll get at least one gold-ranked idol out of your starting pull. Anyway, let's see what this story event is about. Knock knock. Mind if I step in for a moment? Sure, what is it? Well, you've been hard at work running the agency. I've been hard at work shaking hands with the right people. If you shake enough hands, you start to learn about opportunities. I think I found one that may be of interest to you. Hit a gold. Is this a gotcha? Oh, just you wait, friend. Yeah, that's actually how you draw. I'll show you the audition thing when we get out of this. So you have a friend who works as a TV producer. They're always looking to fill programming slots, things like quiz shows, that sort of thing. I managed to plant the idea in her head that it'd be a good idea to have a quiz show where producers for different idol groups compete against each other, folks such as yourself. What's the catch? Always looking for the caveat, huh? That skeptical instinct will serve you well, but it's nothing too serious. They just want to make sure that the people they're featuring have a certain amount of clout. To put it in concrete terms, you need to have enough talent on board to justify calling it an actual idol group. 3 idols is a group, 2 is company. Anything less than that, you're playing with yourself. I see the Lone Rangers has 3 members already, so you're already big enough. And you also need to release a single. You don't have to top the charts or anything like that. Just having a physical CD that people can go out and purchase lends the group a bit more credibility. Plus, it'll give you something to promote on the show. Anyway, that's something for you to work toward. In the meantime, I'll keep shaking hands, I'll keep greasing palms, and look forward to the day I get to see you on TV. Alright. So yeah, our goal here is to get a single going. So for that, we need to get research. Now, as mentioned, because we have them our managers automatically doing stuff, they will not be generating research points. So we'll go ahead and buy what we need in terms of points to unlock stuff. So that and that. This is not inexpensive. We do have some cushion here, but we'll eventually need to start turning this into some actual incoming money. So at least 1 lyric type. More marketing strategy, choreography. We'll go cool here. Why not? There we go. Let's see. Genre of music. So pop, EDM, metal, rock, hip-hop, funk, R&B, avant-garde, and enka, which I'm told is some kind of like it's like kind of like a classical Japanese music style, which is but done in more of a modern way. I don't have any examples to go with, though. I literally had to Google it when I encountered the term. But we will just start with some standard pop group. Why not? Alright. And let's see. Marketing strategy. Right. We'll have to buy a few more points here. There you go. You just keep making money. You let me handle this. So. Digital only release, individual handshake event, group handshake event, ad campaign. You know what? Removes physical costs associated with physical releases. Fans can't buy more than one copy. Lowers revenue sales to 200. Individual handshake increases revenue sale. We'll do ad campaign. Why not? I like them critical success odds. There we go. Okay, marketing strategy, lyric type. That's right. We need points here. You can look up Kagamisaki for a Konkol Enka-like song. Oh, hey, Mirage. Good to see you. And thanks. That's I could use an example there. I hope all's going well and you're getting ready for your trip tomorrow. Alright, so we'll buy one more set of points there. And we'll do a song about, let's see, anxiety. Why not? We'll do a catchy pop song about anxiety. Outstanding. Alright. It's also a good idea to wait until your group has some fans who'll be willing to buy the single. Lacking fans? Try doing some promotional activities. Done. So, yeah, we'll want to keep this ticking over. Bochi the Rock has entered the idol group. Pretty much. Alright. So, yeah, we'll keep this going. Doing some promotion activities. I'm going to wait until this meeting finally goes off here. We'll bump that up a little. So yeah, spacebar is a nice hotkey for stopping and starting the timer, and you are going to want to pause frequently to make specific decisions here. Okay, thanks for inviting me to chat. Okay, Saotome Mako admits she's been playing a new video game recently and talks about what her childhood dreams were. You also find out she loves Bollywood movies. Fuck yeah! She's probably really into those, like, over-the-top action stuff. Like, I love that Bollywood is basically making, like, 90s action movies in, like, the over-the-top style of that era, but, like, nowadays. Let's see. Open the singles tab and click new single. Alright. Start by choosing a name. You can type a name for your single, or click the randomization icon. Well, the Lone Rangers, we gotta go G-generated. Alright. Choose a marketing plan, genre of music, lyric type, and choreography style. So we literally only have one. You can see over here the total appeal of each group change as we add to it. So yeah, the more you unlock individual categories for each section here, the more you can tailor your singles and performances to specific audiences, each with their own buying habits and how much they stick with a particular group versus how much they'll stick with a specific idol. So let's see. Here we go. Enter a number of CDs to produce. Oh, right, because yeah, we didn't go digital only, so we need a specific number of CDs to produce, which has a production cost associated with it. So we'll say, We'll say... Oh, no, that's way too fucking much. We'll say 500. I think that's it. Oh. Yeah, we'll say that's 200. Yeah, that's probably a better number. Yeah, we're a very small group. So, yeah, that sounds about right. Continue after you're done. Alright. Time to choose which idols participate in the single. Select an idol and drag in the information stream. So, yeah, you can potentially have a large number of idols participating in a single... Well, a single, if you will. But we'll want our star front and center, backed up by Mako. Oh, I gotta get the tutorial here. Group stats will be based on the stats of the idols performing. Idols closer to the center of the formation will contribute more. Team chemistry is based on how well the idols in the formation are getting along with each other. Putting a bully in the formation can have a negative effect on team chemistry. 200, fair enough. Okay. Being chosen as a center can also boost an idol's individual career. Is one of your idols wishing to be a center? Click continue after you're done. Got it. Alright, on we go. Now all that hard choice has been made, it's time to produce your single. So your character writes the lyrics. So now that we've got a single here, we drag this over to our office. We start writing the lyrics. And that will take some time. Once that's done, we go down through the other staff and have them contribute to it as well. Onward. And of course, while we're doing that, we will want to continue to increase our fan base. Actually, how are we doing on stamina here? Not too bad. Haruka, a little bit, but we're still in a pretty comfortable range here. Eventually, you'll want to make sure they all get time off, and that's when you want to start hiring additional idols, and also we need to make sure you've got the budget for it. So, onward we go. So yeah, this is pretty much the game. It's managing various meters ticking over, and we'll go ahead and perform there for a little bit of fast cash there. Managing various meters and managing the income of your group versus the physical and mental well-being of your idols. So let us continue. Let's see what this business deal comes up. Alright, Miyuno, what do you got for me? Alright. Flesh, that's a hell of a name for a mag, is looking for a girl to do a sexy photo shoot for the next issue of their magazine. Now this is interesting. So, that is a pretty good payment, but the stamina cost is pretty high, and Haruka's been working pretty hard. So, they're looking for sexy. The stats for sexy are 1 for Mako. Okay, she's not doing it. 24 for Hinako, or 50 for Haruka. So, she's not bad, but it's not a huge pay cut if we spread the work out a little bit. We can try to renegotiate, but I'm probably not going to get a much better deal, so I think that's a fair bit to go for. There we go. 8 more fans and some more money. Nice job. Alright. Exactly, you can't run your best girl ragged. You gotta spread things out a bit. In fact, 80, 52, 67. Yeah, we'll send them all to the spa to recover. There we go. Alright. First single, drag your single into other offices to have your staffers work on it. Alright, so we've done our part. We've written the lyrics. Now, over to the recording studio. And they'll perfect the music that they will then learn to get a dance routine going for. Alright, here we go. Not too bad.
Yay!
Aw. Okay, business proposal failed. That's okay. The staffers don't need to be managed to the same degree that your talent does, but they do still have their stats of their own. In fact, let's see. Can we... Right click, here we go. Success rate 40%, chance of successful negotiation 62%. So not a bad starting manager, but she's got a ways to go. In fact, we'll put that on hold for now so she can gin up her research and have it develop those odds a bit better. In fact, let's see, physical stamina. We'll wait until she finishes. In fact, we'll turn off auto proposals. We will turn off auto practice. Let them rest a little bit and let the numbers go up. It seems like the best strategy in the early game is just to bump your fan base up as much as you can. Eventually, cost will be a concern and we'll have to spread it out a little bit, but... Ooh, Hinako could probably use some more time off. You can manually put a person on hiatus for about... I think it's for... Actually, quite a few days, if not weeks. So it will put them back up to 100 in their numbers, but you lose access to them, which is a problem if they're part of a unit. So we'll let them recur. Hey, Fortune! Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Appreciate the sub. It's always a pleasure. How's it going tonight? Alright. Alright, so these... Okay, so they're done in the studio. So let's bring this over to the... Yeah, we're going to the dance studio to figure out the choreography. Alright, while we're doing that, we can have more meetings with them. So let's meet with Haruka again. Alright, we'll have them recharge a bit more. Alright, ready for a meeting here. Alright, we'll do another casual conversation, get this trust level up, or friendship. Not much. Alright, Suga Haruka tells about how she stubbed her toe this morning. You also find out her father works as an editor at a shonen manga magazine. Hey, alright. Might actually know their publication. Alright, we'll do a performance, get a bit more money to pay for that spa treatment. Alright, looking good, looking good. Actually, we'll grab another idol for a meeting. Here we go. Alright, that's about half done. So yeah, this is, like I said, this is a big chunk of the game. It's watching meters tick over and making command decisions about who to send where and what overall business strategy you want to do while managing the individual needs of each idol. So, boost her friendship level. Talks a bit about a manga she started reading. Find out she has an older sister who dropped out of college after becoming addicted to an MMORPG. Okay, yeah. Like I said, you're going to find some kind of offbeat little details about everybody's lives here. Some of it's innocuous, some of it's humorous, some of it is actually quite serious. Everybody's got something going on. Don't worry, Kirby, I'll get to plenty of that. Definitely still doing that on main streams, at least. Alright, so getting close to done. We'll have one more meeting before then. That's right, we gotta make sure we're getting that fan base up. We need people to sell those CDs too. Alright. Alright, Mako, what's your story? Okay, yep, recently had a run-in with a childhood friend. So yeah, again, this stuff is randomly generated, and it's not really character-driven outside of a handful of recurring people. Okay, yeah, we find out Satome Mako has an older brother who spent over 1,000,000 yen on gacha capsules. Oh, man, these poor people, they had no idea what they were up against. I don't have a little sister. That you know about, Branch. That you know about. Alright, let's see. So, I think there is a cooldown before we can have another meeting. Yeah, 5 days left, so that's that. Otherwise, everybody... Oh, man. Hinako... Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong number. Never mind. Carry on. I do not. I have an older sister, but not a younger one. So far as I know, she is not gacha addicted. But who knows? Alright, choreography is done. So now we drag the single over to marketing, and they're off to pitch it. Alright, let's give everyone one more spa treatment. Make sure they're on the top of their game. I am indeed, Mirage, I am indeed. I mean, no, I'm not an addict. I can stop anytime I want. Okay, 3 days, 4 days, 6 days. Alright, so it'll be a little bit yet. In fact, tell you what, Mako, now that the dance studio is free, why don't you go level up a little bit? Everything's fine until Lost Belt 6 comes out. Then all bets are off. So, yeah, you're getting a sense of the main loop of the gameplay is to build your business, your fan base, train up your talent, put together albums and marketing. You gotta watch your money, your idols, energy levels, the limitations of your staff, and watch trends in the industry and such. It's reasonably in-depth for a sim. Let me, get some money over here. I mean, you compare this to something like the Idolmaster franchise, and that's basically a bunch of, like, training minigames and just some dialogue bits. Now, I quite like those as well. They're very character and performance driven, and I'll be present a very sanitized version of the industry. But there's a charm to them I like. There's something to this, however, that I also appreciate. That's, again, you are managing the nuts and bolts of an agency and making sure that operations run smoothly, that people are taken care of, while also making sure that you're keeping the books in the black. So, almost done with getting the single going. Get a few more fans there. But yeah, there's something to balancing out the various elements of a business that I quite like, and it's a fairly competent management sim in that regard. Alright, almost done. Yeah, this is more meat and potatoes production work. It's getting the numbers up while keeping as many people happy as you can, and later on that becomes kind of a fine line to walk. Alright, so, single is now ready for release. Click the release button. And... motherfucker! Sales and new fans down 30%. Achievement unlocked. Well, that didn't go well. Yeah, thanks a lot. I think we know who's going to get first cut in this business. Okay. So, we only sold about 24 out of the 200, so lost some money there. That's a shame. Hopefully, we'll at least get some fans out of this. Alright. Well, we got 21 new fans. That's something. Didn't quite level up in fame there, but that's okay. Yep. This game has a lot of that to it, where some of your events are random or at least percentage-based, and they depend on the stats of your staff performing them. Aren't you glad I stopped you from doing 500 copies? Well, there you go. Could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. But now that we accomplished that goal, there are, I believe, yes. So yeah, release a single. We'll be able to level these up when it rolls around next, and that'll actually get us more returns for these. So, hey, story event. Hey, thought I'd stop by. I can see by the binders on your desk that you've been consulting some of the business notes I gave you. That's good. Who wrote these business tips? I told you before, didn't I? They were written by one of my former associates. I trusted them enough to run several of my business operations, and they did quite well. So any advice they give you is probably worth taking. But of course, I'm not going to tell you their name or anything about them, but let's just call them Producer X. They're out there somewhere. I hope they're not saying anything bad about me. Alright, so next story goal is to upgrade promotion and performance to level 2, which we can do as soon as time rolls over. We're going to need to hustle a bit, so why don't you get back to making proposals. And how's everyone doing here, stat-wise? Not too good. Oh, hello, ma'am. You can call me by my name. Oh, alright then. Are you sure that's alright? I'm not in the habit of addressing superiors by their given name, so I might slip back into habit. I hope that's not a problem. Anyway, I wanted to ask you about a few things. Specifically, we need to set a number of guidelines for how the girls behave and how events are run. It can be quite chaotic if things aren't consistent. I think it's best to have a set policy in place so everyone's working with the same rule book, so to speak. Alright, so what policies do you recommend? I'm not sure I'd recommend specific policies. Different organizations have different rules, and each set of rules has its own pros and cons. The policies that the Lone Rangers has will be part of what sets it apart from other groups. Of course, nothing is set in stone. You can always change your mind if you don't like the current set of policies. In fact, it's pretty common for new groups to be flexible when they first start off and adapt their policies depending on what seems to work best. The longer you stick with a given policy, the more people come to expect certain things from you. When an organization gains more of a reputation, blah blah, etc. So this is where you start making more high-level decisions about how your organization is run. So there'll be various things we can set in regards to how people interact with the public, what our policy is on office dating and such. A lot of nitty-gritty stuff that we can adjust as we go, and that has ramifications down the line. So anyway, what kind of business proposals do you think would be most promising? So, yeah, for the moment, we'll stick with photo shoots. One-time gigs, they're good for a quick infusion of cash, so this is what we'll be focusing on when we do more business ventures. If you're looking to maximize short-term revenue, and we are, it's hard to do better than a photo shoot. Yeah, go ahead. Alright, of course, it never hurts to change things up depending on what direction the company is going in, so you can always adjust our group's policy based on which types of business proposals to focus on. Of course, while I might be focused on trying to get a certain kind of business proposal, sometimes other opportunities will fall into your lap. I'll be sure to let you know about these when they come up, even if they're not the kind of deal we're focusing on at the moment. Alright. Gotcha. Yes, I gotcha. Next are a bit more straightforward. Recently, I've been thinking about the branding of the Lone Rangers. What kind of vibe do you want people to associate with our group? We'll stick with cool. Why not? Nice choice. I'll try hard to make sure we're cultivating that kind of aesthetic. Or maybe, well, I shouldn't do that because apparently being a tryhard isn't very cool. Maybe I'll try just a little. I think I can manage that. Alright, another branding question. It's about the kind of fans we're trying to attract. What kind of image are we trying to project? So yeah, some of these are fairly standard in terms of which options you take. We'll go rebellious. Why not? We're trying to be cool. Interesting choice. A rebellious image will make it harder to get good business proposals, but projecting an aura of rebelliousness should make us more appealing to younger fans. And that kind of image also seems to be popular among female fans as well. Now about screening incoming talent. We can conduct background checks during the recruitment process. A more rigorous background check will make the recruitment process more expensive, but can help filter out more of the bad apples. How extensive do you want them to be? We'll keep it basic for now. We're kind of on a budget. That should help us screen out some of the more problematic candidates. We also need to talk about social media. Since anything the idols post online is going to reflect on the organization, part of their contract allows us to set rules governing their public social media use. What policy do you want regarding social media? So here's where you get to some of the more interesting decisions. Do you bar them from all social media? Do you want it pre-moderated? Do you let them just no filter out into the internet with God only knows what repercussions? Each of these is going to have trade-offs, and it's something you have to kind of keep in mind as you go forward. So we'll stick with pre-moderated for now, because that seems to be kind of an industry standard. I think we get a system in place for that. Smart thinking. Most of the benefits of social media are reducing the chances of something scandalous being posted. Basically, we're trying to avoid disaster happening because, as was set during the intro of the game, that is something that's kind of lurking in the wings, where bad things can happen based on your choices that can sabotage whatever your current business plan is and tank an idol's career. So, on a related note, we should figure out what to do about allowing live streams, if we want to allow them at all. They can be a good source of exposure, but there's always the risk of scandal. Again, I think we'll be best in a controlled environment. Let them sort of be themselves within certain guidelines. So, for some streamers collect donation from viewers and actually make a bit of side income from it. It's not a lot, but it's not nothing either. Yeah, I'm going to tell you straight out, it's not as lucrative as a handful of people might want you to believe, but it can still be fun. Another thing, we need to have a dating policy in place. There are more, shall we say, invested fans who don't like the idea of idols dating. Yeah, there's a diplomatic term for it. They think it ruins part of the appeal. On the other hand, not allowing idols to date is the kind of thing that would seem draconian to less invested fans, and that might be a bit of a turn-off for them. That's completely apart from the impact that romance can have on an idol's life on an individual basis. Emotional highs and lows that can come from the dating scene, while romance can boost someone's self-esteem, can just as easily end up being a distraction. Invested fans, also known as weird nerds. Pretty much. Again, that's being diplomatic. But yeah, some people get really into the idea of idol purity, and they get weirdly defensive over the idea of seeing them with a romantic partner, so we need to be very... you need to be mindful about that when you make this decision. We're going to be fairly permissive, so yeah, we can hedge our bets a bit by not setting an office policy, and no matter what kind of dating policy we have, it probably won't do anything to discourage idols from being romantically involved within the group. That kind of thing has been known to happen. Yeah, the idols can date each other as well. And again, this is company policy. It's not guaranteed that idols are going to follow it to the letter. It kind of depends on the amount of influence you have over them and how good a working relationship you have. So, yeah, if it's just an internal thing, it's easy to kind of keep under wraps, so it probably won't be an issue regardless. We will keep this open for now. We'll tell the fans to deal with it, but this will have its own consequences down the line. It would be weird, which is why a lot of offices make that pretty much no bueno. But, you know, people are going to be people. What can you do? Been over a modern approach, but it's becoming more and more common for idol groups to permit that sort of thing. One last thing related to finances, or more specifically salaries. One of the things I've been thinking about is proactively offering the talent pay raises in order to keep them satisfied. The way it is right now, the only time idol salaries can increase is if you change them yourself. But if you authorize me to offer them incremental pay bumps, I can keep an eye on which girls seem to be less satisfied with their pay and give them a slight pay bump to keep them satisfied. So, yeah, we'll let her auto-adjust a little bit to incentivize performance. Hey, boss, are you... Oh, sorry, am I interrupting anything? Not at all, we're just wrapping up some discussion of the group's policies. That's good thinking. Have you set policies on things like event security? No, actually, but that's a great point. I should probably decide that right now. So we need to figure out what our security policy is going to be at events. Hardcore fans don't like seeing security guards everywhere, but good security in place will make the girls feel safer. What level should we have at events? I feel like a normal level. Again, I don't really have a baseline for how much trouble this causes down the line either way, but we want some... We want some order here. We're not completely chaotic. While we're on the topic of live events, been focusing a lot on dance choreography. More specifically, I've been thinking about clothing choices and how skirts can make certain kinds of wardrobe accidents more likely. Depending on the dance moves, fans might see a bit more than we want them to see, if you get my drift. So again, this is kind of what I'm talking about, in that they're getting into the nitty-gritty of the idol management business, not just in a numbers sense, but also in social repercussions. So these are the kinds of decisions you'll be making as you proceed. So... yeah, as a compromise, we could have the girls wear short skirts with safety shorts, less risk of wardrobe malfunction, that keep the hardcore fans moderately happy without alienating everyone. That feels like a reasonable compromise. Their casual fans find that look a lot more appealing if you want them to just wear pants, especially guys in the audience. Yeah, I think short skirts with safety shorts is perfectly fine. Sounds like a good compromise. That probably won't ruffle any feathers. I'll make a note of that. Thanks for bringing it up. One last thing. I know this is kind of a subjective question, but when it comes to live performances, which do you think is better? Quality or energy? No strong preference here. I'll just go energy and enthusiasm. I'm willing to tolerate a few mistakes so long as it looks like they're genuinely putting their effort into it. When a fan sees a girl who's singing her heart out and isn't holding anything back, or someone is dancing so passionately that they're sweating on stage, that's the kind of thing that can make them a fan for life. Do my part to make sure that every live performance is special. Right on. Alright, I'll draft up a list of group policies based on our discussion today, but if you want, you can modify them at any time. If you're unsure, my personal recommendation would be to experiment early on and see what works best for you. Once we actually start getting into production mode and start recording music and doing live performances, changing policies will take longer, so it's best to decide these kinds of things early if you can. Cool. Looking forward to working with the Lone... I look forward to working with the Lone Rangers. Now we're just starting out, but I got a really good feeling about how things are going to go. Alright. Now, let's level up here. Level up here. So now we will get more fans and money from these daily activities. But, as we mentioned, they're kind of running on empty here, especially Hinako. So we'll give them some spa time. We want them in good shape for our next leg of the plot here. Let's see. Right, she's working on another business venture. Let's see. Yeah, put Mako over here. Oh. Yo. Hey, just wanted to see how you were doing. How's your first week on the job been? Everything's cool, boss. Everything's cool. Absolutely, everything is fine. Definitely didn't have a rough first week or anything. Anyway, you might be interested to know that I recently tapped into my professional network and managed to get you a small mention on a local news broadcast. I also talked to several folks who run businesses in the area and got them to put up promotional materials for a while. It's not exactly making the big time, but it'll at least get the attention of other people who are nearby. How'd you get them to do that? What, you don't believe it's the power of my charm? Seriously, though, you're not the local business that I've invested in, you know? There are a lot of local... I think they meant you're not the only local business here. There are a lot of local business owners that owe me favors, and in situations like this, I can get them to help me out a bit. Or in this case, help you out. Of course, I hope you realize this works both ways. Someday, you're going to be the established business that I come to asking for a favor. I might be generous, but I expect something in return. Fair is fair, after all. Of course, I don't mean to make this seem like a bigger deal than it is. More people in the area are going to have an awareness of your group. It doesn't automatically turn them into fans, but it does mean that when you promote the group, people will be more likely to pay attention. You might gain more fans than you would ordinarily, thanks to the temporary boost. Ditto for performances, people are more likely to check out a group that they've been hearing of recently. You might see a small boost in attendance and revenue. Gotcha. Okay, so basically saying it's going to get harder as we go, so make the most of these early stages while we can. Alright. So, we do have another story event. We'll let this business deal play out. Give our idol some downtime. Yeah, this kind of has diminishing returns, so you want to spread their activity out a little. Basically, if you keep doing this, you'll only get a... You basically can't do this back to back and get 10 points of physical stamina back every time, so you do want to make sure they're regularly working and cycling through different activities. Alright, onward. Here we go. There we go. Now we're getting a shit ton of fans from that. So, let's see. Fans. So, the next goal is, okay, appear in magazines, 2 out of 3. So, yeah, our next threshold is getting a certain number of fans and also being in another, getting a bit more exposure. So, oh, man. This proposal failed. Man, I'm really, I don't want to let her go. She's kind of been with us since the beginning, but I am curious who we can get instead. Some very identical managers here. Stylists. Okay, so these are other people we can get for other rooms we can build. Haven't really gotten to the point where we need that just yet. Presumably that will be a thing down the line. How much do professionals cost? Not a lot more. Chance of successful negotiation, 64. Success rate. That's actually less than what we currently got. We'll leave it be for now. We'll just let her keep working on it. Alright. Let's see what this story event is. Excuse me, ma'am. Oh, hi. I was just thinking of firing you. Don't worry, though. I decided not to. Let's see. Just received a phone call from Fujimoto-san's office. From the sound of things, you're going to make a television appearance in 1 week. I also received an email directly from the studio with the details of the location of the shoot. Apparently, it's some kind of quiz show where you'll be competing against the producers of other idol groups. I'm actually somewhat familiar with the local station that's recording the show. Not super familiar, but I may have watched it a few times after work, and I took the liberty of watching a few clips that have been circulated online. Since it's a quiz show, I figured you may want a quick primer on what to expect. If you'd like, I could give you some pointers based on my somewhat limited exposure. Yeah, sure, I'd appreciate it. One thing I notice is that they really do like to do variants of the Newlywed Game. Yeah, the Newlywed Game is apparently an old TV game show where recently married couples would answer questions that were supposed to test how well they knew each other. For example, the host might ask the couple, "What's the first song that the two of you danced to?" And the host would see if the husband and the wife gave different answers. Or the host might ask the husband to name 5 of his wife's friends, or they ask the wife how many cousins her husband had. The results could often be hilarious when people reveal just how little they knew about their newlywed spouse. If I had to guess, the host will probably be asking you questions to see how well you know about the idols in the group. For example, they might ask you if you know about the idols' hobbies or other facts about them. So those things that they've been telling us in their interviews are things that might come up on TV or during these like plot sequences. I guess I'll have to study up for the quiz show. Alright, if you'd like to prepare for the kind of questions you might get asked, it could be worthwhile to spend some time with the idols. You know how to do that, right? Oh, sure. Drag and drop into my office. Piece of cake. Yeah, she's literally going to tell us how to do that through the controls. Never seen an idol turn down the chance to sit down and enjoy a cup of coffee. Hell yeah, my kind of lady. Is it enough? It's up to you it's up to you how much prep work you want to do. After all, the point of these kind of quiz shows is to be entertaining for the viewers. Though if I'm honest, part of me really wants to see you win. We got us a supporter. It'll be sticking with Miyuna after all. Okay. It's all in good fun. I'm sure that no matter what the results of the quiz show, everyone will have a good time. Win or lose, what's most important is entertaining the viewers at home. Alright, so that'll be the next plot thing. So let's do some more socializing. Mako. Get a minute. Grab them by the collar, pull them in the office, I'm sure that'll be fine. Exactly. Alright, are you doing anything right now? She is good. Excellent. We'll go for a few more minutes. I just want to show a few things off here. Alright. Okay, let's talk about your wishes. What would you like to see done? Are you sure you want to know? Well, okay. Satome Mako wants to center a single. Now, this is interesting because we've already done this, but we could probably do that again. So let's get another single going. Alright. Warmth of the Lonely. Pretty sure that's a bit of a typo there. Warmth of My Heart. Having Your Time. She thinks he's a troublemaker. Tickle his voice. These names are all lame. I'm gonna put my own in here. We'll say Sofa King. There we go. Just want to see how much we can get away with. So, individual handshake event, EDM, anxiety, cool. And again, we'll do another 200 run. Let's see, what are trends anyway? Oh, no, we gotta research that. Never mind. Alright, so Mako wants to center. We will give her a chance. Lift Haruka back up. Now, she didn't like that, so that kind of... Yeah, I'm assuming that rain cloud there meant it was kind of either a drain on her mental stamina or is a mood thing that will come up later. But we will give this a chance, just for fun. Why not? Alright, so let's get that going. Alright, socialize with an idol. Now again, I think because we did this, that the time won't pass until we... Like, time passes in the game, but it doesn't pass in the story until we click on this. So you've got time to sort of grind up and, you know, train your idols up more. Again, some story events will force your hand, but more often than not, you can kind of build up and make sure everybody's actually ready for the thing. So, how we doing? Here we go. Right. Let's get some cash going. There we go. Get them numbers up, people. There we go. Alright. Now, bring that to the studio. Time for you to earn your keep, sir. You haven't been doing much to this organization. Alright, let's get another talky bit in. Why not? We already talked to Mako. Haruka, let's smooth things out. Smooth things over, I should say. Let's get some coffee. Alright, what are your wishes? Okay, I hope this doesn't sound too unrealistic. I'd really like... Okay, she wants to center a song at a concert. Alright, so that's different from a single. We haven't put on any performances yet. Probably won't get to that before the end of the stream, but good to know going forward. Damn. Okay, are any of these proposals gonna fail here? You do know what you're doing there, right? I mean, I like you, Miyuna, but, you know, we need some results here. Okay, Hinako, your turn. Oh, thank you, Kirby. Finish off my tea here. Alright, that single is done. Alright, time for another coffee date, though. What are your wishes? I thought you'd never ask. What I really want is... She wants to host her own show. Alright, well, you know. Dream big, start small. We'll get there. Maybe. We're kinda... dipping into the seed money a bit more than I expected. But we'll get there. Just green tea. Lipton green tea. I was in a very basic mood tonight. Okay, so, Weekly Play Boss is looking for a girl to do a cute photo shoot for their next issue of their magazine. Okay, so this isn't too demanding. 10 points of stamina. Mako is actually pretty well off, so... Okay, so 78, 77. They're actually pretty comparable stamina-wise. Let's try negotiating here. Let's see if we can get a little bit better here. Oh, that went down. Damn it. Okay, one more time. Hey, there's an improvement. Way to go. Alright, yeah, we will... Hey, we'll send Mako out there. I think she can handle herself. Nice. Excellent, excellent. Actually, is there a tab that shows what the expenses are? Breakdown. Here we go. I see. Here we go. So yeah, idle salaries, staff salaries, rent. So yeah, total is 95,000 yen per week. So not too bad. We can recoup that with performances. But yeah, there's simultaneously a kind of zen-ness to games like this that I appreciate, where you're balancing various requirements, but it's done in a very sedate way where you can always kind of stop and make key decisions. But also there's a sense of pressure that's driving you on. Like, you have concrete goals you're trying to... Okay, so yeah, we'll get her going on that. Okay, so... this is some kind of, what's topping the charts here? Okay, so it looks like a song called Crazy for My Rhythm in Funk is topping the charts. So behind that, metal and R&B. Interesting. Well, we're not here to ride the trends, we're here to set the trends. Alright, let's see. Let's give them more some downtime. There you go. But yeah, overall, I think it's a decently well-designed game, and I'm kind of interested in seeing where they go story-wise. Alright, so... releasing singles too often drastically reduces sales, so... what the hell, why not? Let's live dangerously. Hey, look at this! Now we're talking. 150 sales, 45,000 profit, hell yeah! Hey! This gives us... let's see what we got here. Another 158 fans. And our fame level went up. Alright, nice. Excellent. Good job, team. Alright. Wants to center a single. Okay. So now we have more influence with Mako.
Hey! Hey! Oh!
Thanks, Eyes. Alright. I think it's a pretty good demonstration of the gameplay. We will... before we close out the stream, let's do one more audition. See if we can get another group in to sort of be our B team while they're
Yay!
everybody's kind of recovering there. Thank you, Kren. So yeah, we'll get another audition going. Oh hey, it's Mako's 20th birthday. Congratulations. And her stats went up. Outstanding. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's a mandatory retirement age or something. I'm assuming I'll get about 25 or something. They at least have to consider leaving the studio. They didn't really specify that, however. I don't really know if there's a hard age per se. But anyway, let's see what we're drawing here. Alright. Okay, Nishino Kumi. Oop. What? Damn it, I didn't mean to hire. I didn't even take a look. Okay, Take Kaho. Yamamoto Kanako, Murakami Miyuka, and Maria. Just a bunch of basic. I almost said servants there. This has all the elements of gacha in that it's kind of random what you're going to draw, and it's based on what tier the auditions you have. The more you spend, the more likely you are to get someone you can really use. The card doesn't gacha never. Yeah, we'll hire you on, why not? And yeah, that's fine as well. Alright. I don't mind when people yelling at me. To me, that's just the sound of people caring loudly. It's an enthusiastic attitude there. Hey, I hear this industry can be pretty rough and tumble, but don't worry about me. I'm like rubber. Whenever people insult me, bounces off and sticks to my shoe. Wait, is that the expression? Hey, good to be on board. Sorry if I took a while to learn the ropes, but... sorry if I take a while to learn the ropes, but I'm really looking forward to working with everyone here. Cool. Alright. I think we can call it there. But yeah, that's Idol Manager. Like I said, there's something about the gameplay loop I can find kind of compelling and easy to get into. There's some interesting depth to it that you don't normally see in terms of media that tackles the idol industry. Like I said, a lot of it's kind of... they gloss over the more complicated and problematic aspects of the industry. They gloss over the effort involved in raising a team of talent, making sure that their needs are met, following industry trends, dealing with fan base and all their exotic varieties. This looks like it's trying to do that with some degree of fidelity, and I can respect the effort. I'm kind of curious where they go with it story-wise too, because they drop some pretty interesting plot hooks in the opening that I'm kind of wondering where they're going with that. But yeah, that's Idol Manager. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a good night. We'll be back to Fatal Frame on Saturday, but until then, see you next time.